Today, we got kind of a unique opportunity. So I actually found a video here that has Grant Cardone and Kris Krohn together, kind of a collab, if you will, or it's kind of an interview of Kris Krohn interviewing Grant Cardone. You know, I'm not a fan of either one of these guys. I don't know if they're good people inside or not, but what I think they have to offer for you as an investor, I think is quite horrible.
You look great, by the way, bro. You got the freaking, you look good, man. Look, y'all both.
Dude, come on. I've seen your posts.
You look great. No, you look great. Oh, you're awesome. No, you're awesome. It's just in good conscience, I can't not point this stuff out because I have a very different take on what is good for a small investor like yourselves and what these guys have. This is called How to Invest in a Public Fund with Grant Cardone. Now, that's something that Grant Cardone is an expert on, putting together funds and getting other people to invest with him. I think he's got like 3,200 investors now. He gets a lot of money for consulting guys like Chris that want to know how to do the same. And in fact, I think he just did something recently with maybe Ryan Pineda too. Look, it's very tempting when you can make money off other people's money. It's a fantastic way to do so. But that's not my mindset. I've got a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. I have several millionaires already in just side of 18 months. And these are guys just like you and me. They didn't have that kind of money. They didn't have near the money that they have today when they started the class. And that's how fast things can change. That's the beauty of real estate. You can get rich so damn quick. But guess what? If you give your money to somebody else, it controls your asset. It controls your seed money, your seed capital. Then man, you're stuck. You're just stuck being just a piece of their machine. And that's what I don't want for anybody.
You're basically reversing it. You're doing a little bit of Robin Hood. You're going to basically steal from the institutional wealth and say, return that back to the people and bridge the gap and make it so that everyday people have a shot.
1,000%.
Yeah, so I don't buy that for a second. But see, they do the same things. You've heard the things, birds of a feather stick together, thick as thieves. There's a lot of different names that go along with people that, it's just like when politicians can't call each other out. It's because they're both doing the same shit. So that's kind of what they do, the same shit. Let's keep watching.
All right, what's up, guys? Kris Krohn here. Have it all, and you're not going to believe who I have as a special guest today. None other than the one and only Grant Cardone. Grant, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Chris. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
Dude, Grant, I got to tell you, man, I'm certainly an admirer. There are those that lead the pack and others follow. And dude, you've given some amazing marketing tips, advice, real estate. It's been great for me as I grow my social to watch how you do it. And dude, you're making waves.
See, that's the key right there. He is a fan of what Grant Cardone is doing in as much as taking in a bunch of investors and acquiring a lot of real estate. And it is a fantastic deal for Grant. And that's what Chris is looking for. Chris actually does it. He does it too, but he does it with residential real estate, houses.
Waves to the tune of billions. It's super impressive. So I just want to thank you for all the mentorship you've provided me, even though this is our first time really connecting.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. And somebody, I was telling you before the show, somebody sent me a video of you talking trash about me, about my investments, right? And I was like, dude, that's cool. Let's do a show with him, man. and somebody was like,
have me on your show, Grant. I'd love to be on.
Why would you want to do a show with him? I'm like, everybody has the right to have their own opinion. Everybody has the right to chop up. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect guy. I don't have the perfect answer. I'm trying to grow, right? So we're sitting on about $4 billion worth of real estate right now. Fuck, if I'm doing it wrong, I need to figure out how to do it a little better. Maybe I go to 40.
So I like Grant in as much as he's as simple and as uneducated as I am. Okay. And that's the thing about real estate. You don't need to be particularly smart, just to be honest, folks. Just really a lot of it's just common sense. And he does have things figured out quite well for himself, as do I. What I think is good for you is to take your seed capital, your money, and invest it for yourself so you have full control over your own assets. You'll make a hell of a lot more money, a lot faster, and you'll have the control. And that's what you don't have when you hand your money to somebody else to put it into a fund.
Dude, I want you to level with me because last year when that whole thing went down about, oh man, I'm going bankrupt, I'm losing my jet, I'm losing everything, I literally believed it for that 24-hour period or whatever. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, I freaking look up to this dude. How can this be happening? This is crazy.
And so, what's funny is it's that video that Kris Krohn did on Grant Cardone is what introduced me to Kris Krohn.
Grant Cardone goes off the rails yesterday with the video that he himself put out saying, bankrupt, losing everything, I need a lawyer, I'm going to jail.
And this is one of the things I didn't like about Grant Cardone, and we'll go to that clip here in a sec. So imagine you're one of these 3,200 investors. He uses unaccredited investors. So you might have investors that have only put in $5,000 or 20 grand or 15 or 30, 50 grand, whatever. These are people that they're not millionaires. Some of them might be, but most of them are not. That's kind of the threshold for being an unaccredited investor, is that you don't have a lot of wealth, basically, is what puts you into that category. And so imagine Grant goes on, and this is what he did, is he announced that he's going bankrupt.
On the rumors of my bankruptcy that is soon to happen, yes, it's true.
And that he's going to have to sell the jet.
I'm losing the plane.
And this, that, and the other thing. Well, imagine you're one of those people that gave him your life savings, and it's 10 grand or 5 grand or 20 grand. And you believe him, just like Kris said he believed him.
I literally believed it.
The condo, all the apartments.
And I didn't really know. I thought I totally could believe it. But it turns out he was just joking. It was just like a prank. What an irresponsible prank it is to play with 3,200 investors. Just off the top of your head, you decide you're going to tell everybody you're going bankrupt and scare the shit out of everyone that's giving you money for 24 hours. So let's keep watching.
And when it turned out that, just ended up being more of a marketing thing, I was disappointed. I was like, oh man, like, wait, were my heartstrings, were my emotional strings just being tugged on? Was this just a game? Is that really what went down?
Yeah, no. So what happened was, first of all, I was doing an Instagram. We had COVID happened. I was doing Undercover Billionaire, and Discovery Channel killed the show. They said, well, it's over. And I got so pissed off, dude. I just spent 10 days of my life in Pueblo, freezing off, without my family. And I was just starting to get some momentum, and Discovery's like, hey man, I got bad news. We're killing the show. I said, fuck you guys. I'm going to continue. They're like, hey, you can continue, bro, but there's no cameras here. I was so pissed off. I became like a juvenile. I couldn't believe it.
Was a planned hoax. It was a fake.
And that's what I did yesterday. And a bunch of you fools went for it. I can't believe how many of you out there went for it, okay?
He was actually trolling himself to drum up fake news to prove a point.
So anyway, I end up flying home. The world's coming to an end. 40 million people get let go, literally in the next 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it was insane.
I get home, and we're doing an announcement to my staff. I'm doing an Instagram live because I'm scared, man. I'm like, oh shit, we got to start marketing hard now because our business is about to implode on itself.
I don't know, coming out with a video, releasing all sorts of fake news, and then coming out the next day and saying, I can't believe you guys went for that. That tells me who my real friends are and or not, and basically goes on to say that this is how you be successful in business. This is how you be successful in marketing. For me, I look at it and I'm like, so you're telling me that I should tell lies?
I tell my president of the company, I'm like, bro, like, we're not going to, like, strap down, bro, because it's getting ready to get ugly.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because I saw what I thought was a guy falling apart, just coming to pieces. He really just seemed like he was having a breakdown on camera. You know, he's just talking to people like terrible, like the stupidest way. I don't even think I'm going to guess that's out of character for him to do some of the things that he did on camera at time that he did, and it might have been just purely out of just petrified, you know, that he was locked down. You know, he's gonna be flying his jet. He's not gonna be packing arenas with would-be investors and, you know, buyers for his program. I do respect Grant Cardone. He's got this 10 times thing going. He's done some books. He's been a motivator of people in business and that sort of thing. Where I disagree with him is I don't think investing with him is a good idea. I do not think he offers much in that regard. I don't think he knows anything about real estate. He knows on a level of you know, multi-million-dollar funds and how to attract money in. But
so I went on a big promotional campaign. We were going to promote a marketing camp, a webinar on what to do during this crisis. So I go live like I do all the time, and I start marketing live on Instagram and on YouTube. And the next thing you know, I see one of these pop-ups. One of these punks is like, hey, you're going to go bankrupt. I've been waiting for this shit.
Oh, yeah, one of those trolls.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you to fucking fall from the sky, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, swear to God, this is what happened. Oh, yeah, I'm going bankrupt. I got to sell the plane. And then I went on into this whole thing, right? I need to sell the plane. You could probably pick it up for 5 or 6 million. We just sold the plane last week for 33 and a half. And by the way, I got to sell my condo. I think 2 million gets it done. And the apartments, you can buy them for 10 cents on the dollar. Okay. I'm sitting and I added my kids, you can take them to.
They forgot to leave that part out, man. They only left the desperation and the believability in that thing.
The last thing that we need is someone hijacking the news and lying just so that they can be a genius marketer
Marketing madness, genius.
or feel significant. I'm going to tell you right now where I actually disagree with Grant Cardone when he's quoting Kevin Hart, who I've met. He's a really great man. And when he quotes Kevin, he says, well, Kevin himself said that bad news travels worse than good news.
Remember what Kevin Hart told me as he sat on stage with me and said, Grant, bad news travels faster than good news. People pass it on. Doesn't matter how much good you do in the world. If you want to get people to talk about you, give them some bad news.
It was that clip that I just kind of lost a lot of respect for Grant because of just the total disrespect to his investors to put out, some piece of crap like that. When people are all of a sudden, they're very concerned about the whole, pandemic thing. Maybe they lost, they talked about 40 million people losing their job like that. Well, they might have been one of those people. And imagine that, and then maybe you want to get your money in your hands, get your money, and you can't. And then you find out where your money is. The guy's going bankrupt. It would be terrifying. And so I just think he was, throwing gas on the fire and adding insult to injury to those folks. Let's keep watching.
I can't believe I must have done a good job of selling it because, like, literally the next day I got a certified cashier's check for $2 million for the condo. I had 3 CEOs, one from Ashley Furniture, another one from Shop America, and a third one that said, "Please don't use my name." That offered me $6 million for the plane. And dude, the whole thing was just like, it was just me ad-libbing. It was not an attempt to market.
Marketing madness, genius.
I was not trying to trick people. And my wife was pissed off at me. She's calling. She's like, "I'm so embarrassed. I'm waking up to 100 messages that we're going bankrupt."
Oh my gosh, dude.
And he brought it all on himself. This isn't the cause of a troll or anything else. He purely stuck his foot in his mouth with that thing.
That whole thing, like, it got me. Like, I seriously watched that video hit for as long as it was out there. I'm like, dude, this can't be happening. Like, dude, Grant is like baller big time out there. And, the next day, part of me was relieved. And I'm like, oh, good, this is a hoax. Because in truth, the world, like what the government put us through, what governments have put people through, dude, we're still in the middle of it. We've got more wealthy people rising from the ashes than ever before, but we also got a ton of people that are living in fear. They're living in scarcity. They're living with mandates. And just the world it's nuts right now. And dude, I'm glad that you didn't get actually caught up. I'm glad none of that ended up being real.
Yeah, well, for me to go bankrupt, my finances are so solid. I've been so disciplined my whole life with my finances that, it would be almost virtually impossible for that to happen to me. But I do know that it happens to people that take too many risks, right? We don't over leverage any of our assets. We do probably across my whole portfolio. We have 50%, maybe 52% debt on the entire portportfolio.
So what he just said is actually pretty sound, especially when you get older. Listen, I have very similar portfolio ratio. In other words, I have very little debt. I think I'm probably more like a 28% debt on all my assets, on my overall portfolio. Some things I own outright cash, some things I have maybe 40% on or something like that. But it doesn't matter. Overall, it comes out about 28%. So that is good and that is sound, but that also, if you've got an investor's mindset like I do, what you think of is he's taking other people's money in order to purchase these properties, right? The little guys, that's what Grant, it's neat that you take in the little guys. Well, when you're rich, you can afford to live on 5%, 6%, because you got a lot of money. You can make 6% on your assets, and that's fine. And to be honest, you make the most of the money you make on your borrowed money, because you borrow money, and let's just say you got 6% coming in, you borrow money at 3%. So you're making 3% on the borrowed money. So if you borrowed 3/4 of your money, you're going to make 1.5 times the money that you will on the cash portion that you put down. If you put 25% down, you make 6% on that. Well, on the the 3/4 that you borrowed, you're making the difference of what the bank's charging you and what you're getting. You're making another 3%, but it's on the same amount times 3. So you end up making 1.5 times the money on the borrowed money. That's where the money is in for somebody like Kris Krohn and also for Grant, because it's the borrowed money. And that's why these guys always talk, they usually talk in terms on the return on cash, like your investor's return on cash. Listen, I want a return on the overall investment. I just took people's money in and I bought property, and I just took the money that I made on the borrowed. Their money is what got me the loan, okay? That 25%, or maybe he just said 50% on his average. Maybe he gets 50% of the money to put down when he buys a property. He's talked about getting an $800,000 check, and while the other investors got $1.2 million. That's a 40-60 split. I'd love him to explain that sometime, which if he really does like, people that disagree or, conflict, and I'm glad that he welcomes, criticism and, it's constructive criticism. And I've always played the devil's advocate. You got to have thick skin, folks. If you're going to, talk business and that sort of thing, you should be able to explain it.